Well, they say in total, GTTF stole at least $300,000, 43 pounds of marijuana, 800 grams of heroin, 3 kilos of cocaine, and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry. It was one of the most shocking corruption scandals in Baltimore's history. And this was happening in the backdrop of the whole Freddie Gray situation, which made it even worse.
Absolutely.
So after you plead guilty, because did you have a bond the whole time or no?
No, so they denied us twice. We had the initial hearing where we thought we were going to get out. And again, like I said, this is a high profile case. Again, things were done behind the scenes for whatever case, and we got denied the first time, then got denied the second time. And then from that, it was just sitting.
Okay, so you're sitting in county jail the whole time.
Sitting in county jail, then I pled guilty. Once you actually plead guilty in court, 30 days, you're going in federal custody. I was in federal custody, but actually being in federal custody, going to a federal prison.
Right. But eventually you go to the final federal prison where you actually start your sentence.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was that first night like?
I think the county was the most impactful thing, not the federal side. When they stripped me, like I said, and I was in that county cell looking at this iron toilet and this food is coming out, and the realization that I couldn't pay my way out of this situation, that's when it hit me as far as like, this is real. Like I was in a position of power telling people what to do, doing what I wanted, traveling, and now I'm being told what to do. And I think that was the biggest thing that I was struggling with when I actually had to sit down and just like, you don't have your freedom, you don't have your power anymore.
Well, you're locked up in federal prison as a dirty cop.
Yeah.
So you're in PC, I assume?
No, I'm not in on PC.
No?
No. Why would I be in PC?
Well, aren't the cops usually in a certain section with other cops?
No, so what happened was when I was in the county, they had us all in protective custody because basically no jail wanted to take us. So it just happened, hey, what jail can take all these guys all together? Howard County. So let's send them to Howard County. Then from Howard County, we're going to disperse them throughout the state of Maryland. Whereas though now you choose if you want to go on PC while you're in the holding cell in the county, or you can be in general population. You know.
Okay. Now you're locked up with criminals in the same area you're actually working?
Yeah, so I was actually from the county. I went actually back to the federal courthouse when I had to get on the bus. Went to the bus, picked up some individuals from DC jail. Then I ended up in Petersburg, West Virginia. That's the transit hub. Mm-hmm. And that was probably another real situation when I was in a cell with 3 people, 1 toilet, with a time on the toilet. Can't see a clock. That was where I really was, this is crazy. And now you have people rotating in, hey, what's up, where you from? You know, as a detective, again, I had the swag, I didn't care, I didn't fear anything but God, so I wasn't really worried about that, but my spotter sense was on, like, do these people know about me? But you have so many people coming from like Detroit, Florida, North Carolina, through transit. But then when I got to my actual prison where I was at, yes, I was around individuals who I knew about, who knew about me. An individual that knew about me was at the actual prison that I was at. Yes, to answer your question.
Did you actually run into someone in prison that you robbed before?
No, I think they wouldn't, more so, I think that's like a paperwork thing. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't put us together, but it was an instance where an individual knew about me and he was at that actual prison I was at, and he actually was like, hey, why are you guys talking to G? But I was established. Like, I went into prison on man time. You know, everybody, again, I watch your interviews, people talk about paperwork and all this. At the end of the day, I was a detective. So I had Baltimore guys approach me on homie time, not knowing that I was a officer. Hey man, you need to send your work in. You got 30 days to send your work. I'm just looking at them like, again, I was operating a high level. I don't know who you are. I'm not reporting to nobody. So the next day when they would come to me, hey, I'm on man time. All right, cool, respect. That was just it. And I was at a low prison now. I'm not at a high level, so okay. I want to be clear with this. I was at a low. And again, even if I was at a medium high, I would have kept that same energy because I knew at the end of the day what was going to be, you know, going into prison. This wasn't a thing where I had to, oh my God, I'm scared. If I had to have a knife and use it, I was going to use it. That's
Okay.
just my mindset.
So were there any violent incidents the whole time you were locked up?
As far as in regards, no, absolutely not. I had
Because it was all low security, essentially. People were
no.
trying
I
to
mean,
get out.
you had people coming from high prison to a low prison.
So they weren't trying
right?
to mess that up.
Yeah, you had people not trying to mess. It's not like I went to a medium, but I was locked up with people that were in medium, and I was respected. I think the biggest thing for me, Vlad, and you had instances where officers kill an individual. I wasn't an officer that did that. As far as like this whole planting drugs, I never planted drugs. My name is not on any of those cases or car stops with that. I took money.
But you were robbing drug dealers.
Again, you're saying it from
It's not like this is like, slight work here. I mean, this is heavy. You're robbing hundreds of thousands of dollars from drug dealers.
Listen to what I'm saying. You're speaking from a civilian standpoint.
Yes.
I'm speaking from, I was living it. I'm in prison with some of the realest guys, and I'm telling you the feedback that I got back based on who I am and how I carry myself. I'm not speaking from a standpoint of an outside person looking, oh, Momodu Gondo's in prison, he should be getting beat up. I was in prison, I never got beat up. I never had no issue. I always walk with my head high. If somebody had a problem with me, I would confront them. Somebody else would, hey, G's a good dude. I help brothers in prison. As far as with COVID, when these guys were dying, I was sick in prison with Crohn's and people were trying to get out. I was helping brothers because I had the resources, whether it was commissary. So again, my walk in prison was different from a lot of officers. And to give you a backdrop, I've heard about some of my co-defendants that were locked up from other people in prison that I was with and the things that they struggle with. And they would look at me and say, gee, you basically, you different. And that was just my approach.